mga palangga, this is your friend and your Abian, Mandy and More here once again for another episode of our Mandy Connects. Now, I can ask a question probably 100 times a day. Oh, I swear I do, so whether it's in YouTube comments or in Instagram, Twitter, but in reality is, most of you probably wants to be successful in YouTube. And honestly, you're thinking about it the wrong way. And in this episode, I'm probably gonna tell you the most important advice I can give you on this channel about being successful in YouTube and in any other social media platforms based on the information that I have gathered, emanating from the basic principles of marketing yourself, the strategies, and of course, the advices from other social media influencers and people who have done this before all of us has done. So most content creators in YouTube has probably been thinking about it for long. You know, they wanted to be successful and they're worried about views, they're worried about subscribers, and they're really missing the point. The point is that you're not supposed to build a YouTube channel. That's right, you heard me. You don't worry about your YouTube channel. What you need to do is to think about your brand. Now you're thinking, what does it mean to have a brand? What we want to do is to create more than just a YouTube channel. It's basically a presence in the world that you were able to interact with an audience and actually develop contents that would influence and inspire people, whether it be in other social platforms like Twitter, Facebook, or any other venues. You know, you're building some type of brand that people want to engage with or interact with. Now, you might not know this, but some of you do. Now, starting to brand your YouTube channel is probably one of the most exciting part of thinking about what we have to offer to our audience. Well, building my own brand in my own channel, Mandy and More, it took me a lot of times to think about what really do I have to offer the audience? What contents do I have to share that would grab their interest and attention? I have so much passion in cooking. I have so much passion in interacting and talking to people. I have so much passion in presenting ideas that would mean ideas that goes out of the box. But then again, we have to be specific. We have to give a brand that would provide more information to people and would inspire them as well to follow. And now I bring you the 13 ways to build a brand. Now the first thing is to be passionate. That passion needs to come within. A lot of people have actually asked me, what do I have? How do I start my YouTube channel? What contents do I have to make? And the first question I usually ask about is, what are you passionate about? You have to figure out what you're interested in. How do you actually do it, and how does it actually look like? Because at the end of the day, if you don't have the passion for it, it's not really gonna withstand the long nights of editing, spending your time thinking about what contents to share. Now, the second item is probably one of the most important ones, and that is be unique. Everyone is unique. Everyone has different ways or perspective on attacking life as it is. And actually, this unique way of how we see life and how we see things and how we provide our contents in YouTube can actually change the way that we actually attract the audience. And so be unique. You need to be authentic. You need to be original. Just try to be yourself. You might want to get some ideas from other people, from other YouTubers. So what you basically do is get a glimpse of what they do and turn those ideas basically and create your own version depending on what you really are and what you present to your audience as well. Inject your own individuality. Put in your own take to that. Gather all the ideas. It's always better to learn something and then present it in the way that would identify that this is your trademark. Now the third item is to know your audience. Now you might say, Mandy, I don't even have an audience. Yes, you do. You might be the audience. So in Mandy and More channel, actually I am the audience. This is the type of contents that I actually consume and share in YouTube. So I actually know a little bit about myself, my passions, because I'm passionate about sharing information with people. So I know how to engage it. But the reality is, my audience are people that like to interact with people of the same passion. People who wants to gain more information and knowledge about things. People who love to share. People who love to have good vibes and positivity to everyone. They love to have fun. They have to love this energy that emanates from inside out. People who just wants to be real as me, as real as you can get. People who do not pretend to be who they are when they are not. people who are really, truly sincere and honest, people who are what you see is what you get. And so knowing that audience is very important. And so knowing that audience is very important, and then you can go down on very specific, the mono males, the mono females, the different demographics, and really understanding that. But honestly, the more you understand your audience, the more you know them personally, the more you know about their concerns and what they really like, and things that they find funny, things that they find interesting, things that they find engaging. And this would actually give you the power to determine and identify what kind of contents do we really provide the audience. Number 4, speak to your audience. Now, this one's probably one of the most important one. You are actually bringing your visual interpretation and then your language together to really engage a community and really get people involved. And that language is very important. What that actually means is, in certain words, in certain things, in certain phrases that we can connect people to get together. They feel like they are a part of something. They're a part of your journey. They're part of the information you're sharing. So let me give you an example. We're all a part of YouTube, right? If you're watching this video, more than likely you are a content creator in YouTube and you understand some of the terminologies used here in YouTube. Now, if I tell you to subscribe, you would understand that. There are people in the world that watch YouTube but don't understand, like subscribing, because they're not a part of this community. They really don't get it. They thought that you just visit YouTube and watch it, but they didn't know that you can actually subscribe. So being a part of a community, there are certain language that's used, and this language can really bind people together because they feel like they are part of something that's a little bit greater. And when that happens, that's where all your tribes will go out and, hey, I want to be a part of this community. These guys are amazing. I want to be part of this YouTube channel. Number 5, tell your story. Now this is really an important one, especially on getting your brands to be more powerful and people will be emotionally connected. They want to know how you actually got there. What trials, what tribulations, what challenges, and what successes you actually had along the way. They really want to know about that. So if you were able to connect with your story, making a video about how you actually started is such a big deal. Now you might say, I'm just getting started, we're trying to figure things out. Well, that's great, but then you still need to be able to connect to them. They all need to know how you actually got to the point that you're at, and they actually want to do and feel that they are a part of it, part of your journey, and then they're emotionally connected with it, and that's when you become successful. Now think about the most powerful brands in the world, one being which, Apple. I mean, they literally have fanatics. I'm an Apple fanatic myself. And I believe there's a lot of people out there that are Apple fanatics. And they know the story of Apple. How they basically started in the garage, the trials and challenges that they had, the successes that they had when Steve Jobs got kicked out of his own company, when he came back and rescued the company, and where they're at today. That's the story that's being told time and time again. And the best person to tell that story is you. Number 6, find ambassadors, not collaborators. Now you might say, what's an ambassador? Well, let me kind of explain what an ambassador is. Now, talking about my Mandy and More channel in YouTube, I want to find people who are passionate about the brand Mandy and More and their own respective channels. And so I was out scouring the internet trying to find out about people who are as passionate as I am, connecting through friends and acquaintances and other new connections I have encountered along the way. And I wanted personally to find out about people who are passionate about brands. I want to find people who are actually passionate about what we're doing. And I reached out to them, and then I found people from across the world and had come and made me part of our own individual YouTube family channel. I met, of course, for the first time, the super wifey fashionista vlog. She became my sister, literally, though virtually we haven't seen each other in person yet, but that bond, the strong connection is already there. And then I met her better half, Oragon Channel. No doubt about it, Oragon Channel is probably one of the best channels and a blessing for my own. The passion that we share, the insights and the learnings that we share, the inspiration that we share to people, to our audience, to our brothers and sisters here in YouTube, in the community, are the best ever gift I have ever had in my journey here in YouTube. Along the way, I've met my sister Chanilian, who is equally very supportive every time. A trustworthy friend that has also become my sister and a confidant at the same time. I will forever treasure you, my sister Chanilian. And of course, I met my anak, Jaris Ilagan Vlogs, a very humble person with a dedication and a passion. We share common goals and knowledge about certain things, from his humble beginnings until how he's become, how he improved his life, how he strive hard to hurdle all the challenges. I will forever love you, my anak, Jaris Ilagan Vlog. I have met the equally lively, talented and funny DBIF channel, who has inspired me in more ways than one. I am forever grateful, DBIF channel, my other kapatid. I am forever grateful to have met Jenny Labrador and MacJen Labrador. These are the two couple goals that I admire so much, who helps a lot of people to further improve and progress on their channels. You are forever in my heart. I have met my brother Kim Michael Kell and Erdiwao Vlogs, who are one of the best people that I've ever known throughout my entire journey here in YouTube. For that alone, I am forever grateful for these two people, Kim Michael Kell and Erdiwao Vlogs. You are all always in my heart. Of course, we have our Abian, our fellow Ilonggo, Alona the Explorer, and husband Kuya Rod, or otherwise known as Mr. Explorer. These are the people who have truly become my inspiration. Also, I have met Mary Jean Curie, who is also an Ilongga, my amiga and palanga, Mary Jean Curie, who happens to be one of the channel mates of Kuya Oragon's search for channel mates sa Bahay ni Lolo Oragon channel. And of course, I cannot forget my idol, the one and the only, the Lucius Life, and his equally beautiful wife, Mom's Haven. You are both couple goals to me as well, and you are both an inspiration to me. I thank you for you having welcomed me into your own life and in your channel. All these people have actually passion in the brands that they're building. They have a really good experience and they are really good at what they're doing, and then they become ambassadors. You know, people who truly encourage you and injects ideas and proposals to you, and you have to do something like this, you have to develop more on this, you have to progress by doing this. All these points to consider, and all these positive comments and remarks or feedbacks from all our ambassadors are what truly makes you improve and further progress your own channel. So basically, these people are not just collaborators, they are your treasured ambassadors. Now, along with time, I myself have also become sort of an ambassador to other people, to my fellow YouTubers. I cannot ever forget the exchange of ideas between me and Sister Lori MV channel, and of course my dear friend Convinced, who has convinced me to venture into YouTube. I am forever thankful and grateful for all of you guys. And of course, how can I forget the positive vibe of my ever gorgeous and alluring Sister Roberta Alberta Vlogs from Canada. Sis, you are an inspiration to me, and more than anything else, you have made me pursue, you have inspired me to pursue more on this platform in YouTube. I am forever thankful, my dear sister, Roberta Alberta Vlogs. These ambassadors are the people who are willing to share your contents, your own brand, because they do know and believe in all your pursuit in the YouTube channel that you're into. Number 7, be consistent. Well, you might say consistency in publishing schedule. If you're actually building a brand, consistency in publishing schedule is only one component, and that's not really what we're talking about. Now, what we want to know is being consistent with your messaging, being consistent in your video formula, being consistent in your graphics and how you engage audience, be consistent in your language, be consistent on how you actually comment on your YouTube videos. Be consistent in really reaching out and connecting with people. That's what it needs to be consistent. And I think the more that you can actually do that in creating a brand, then it could help define and get more ambassadors to really bring people into this community. Because that's what we need. We really need ambassadors who can really say, hey guys, check this out. They're amazing and they really feel connected. And that's where the consistency comes in, so that when they comment, it's consistent with what the ambassadors have commented. Whether it's your artwork on YouTube, that is also the same with your Facebook, Twitter, and any other social media platforms. Or wherever it may be, you're being consistent on how you approach things and in your brand. Number 8, do nice things. Maybe you might say, what in the world does it have to do with building a brand? But I'm telling you, it has everything that has to do with building a brand. Now, what do I exactly mean by that? There are actually nice things you can do as a brand to give thanks to your community. Okay, one of the easiest, and I mean it's really the easiest, is to comment on your videos. Now, whether you have a lot of people commenting, which I do, you might pick how much time that you will actually designate to comment and educate your viewers. Well, actually, one of the ideas that I have in my mind is after premiering a video, we can actually have 30 minutes or an hour after the premiere of the video, so we can exchange about our thoughts and ideas on what we have just watched. In this way, we are truly connecting with our audience. We are doing that engagement and that true connection that we really need. There are other ways to do that as well. You might as well also do some giveaways, do some raffles or prizes, share out some phone loads or any other things that your audience would really appreciate and love. These are actually some of the ideas to build people more and build that strong community and really build those ambassadors who will really bring in a lot of people in your audience. Number 9, educate the viewer. Now, this is actually a tough one for all marketers, including myself, because we get all these great ideas. Sometimes we embrace that it's actually not working, because we're like, oh, we gotta try this. Well, no, if it's working, don't deviate from it. Now, starting a brand in YouTube channel, how do we really educate our viewers? We are actually doing it by the contents that we provide for them. We have our own life lessons, experiences in life, and we have learned a lot of things from other fellow YouTubers and other people who has influenced our life, and we are sharing this to the community. In this way, we are sharing major parts and snippets of our lives and the lives of other people that has influenced us and would eventually also inspire and influence other people. I see to it that all my premiere videos are always informative and educational to the viewers, and somehow I believe that they took the time out to watch and listen to your videos, and they ultimately learn something out of it. So if they know that you are consistent with your premieres and the contents of your premieres or any other video contents that you have in your own individual channels, then they will be prompted to go and visit you every time you do the videos, because they truly know that you are providing them quality and educational value on all your video contents. Also, one way to educate your viewers is to have these video creation formulas so your videos feel the same. Now, if you watch TV, if you watch sitcoms, they actually use a formula, and if you really write it down, what actually happens in the episode, the structure is always the same. It literally is. They're taking them through an educational process through this and what they're gonna expect. However, why they come back is because they have that familiarity of the content, but they don't know what's gonna happen. So there's that mystery, there's that excitement that keeps them coming back to your channel. They know that there's gonna be hook. Oh, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. And there's actually a formula that would make your channel more effective and more engaging to your audience. So there are actually several ways to educate your viewer. You can actually do that through your cover art, putting all the information when you post. You can do it verbally. You can say, hey, this is when it comes out. But you can also be consistent in making sure that you are delivering your content how you are supposed to deliver, in an educational manner. Now, with this educating the viewer, this is something that you always need to look at. Is this actually gonna break the model of your brand by doing something that's different? Number 10, understand your message. Now, this is one that I actually focused on a lot. I mean, several times a day, because it's really an integral part of being a marketer, is understanding the messaging. All brands have specific goals that they want to achieve. When you're creating content, you want to be able to have that specific goal on what that content's good for, right? And your message will help you attain the goal. that the brand actually has. Now, people who are really more successful in YouTube is they really know what the proper messaging is all about, and they know the things that could hugely affect their brand. Number 11, work on social reach. Now, this is one most of our content creators don't do very well, is you need to worry about things off of YouTube. Don't worry about things in YouTube. I know that seems really weird, but it's true. What you need to do is to make sure that if you're building a brand, that brand has a Facebook page, that brand has an Instagram account, that brand has a Twitter account, a Snapchat account, TikTok account, and you're active on it. Now, you might be the main hub of the most things happening in YouTube, but the way that you need to interact with the world is increasing your social reach. Increase your followers in Facebook, increase your followers on Instagram, increase your followers on Twitter, on TikTok, or whichever media platforms. Because when people are actually coming to you, when you're starting to make money in YouTube, is when people will converge to you and interact with you through various social media platforms. You need to have an audience out of YouTube. There are times that your product won't exactly work in YouTube, but it might work on your Instagram. It might work on your TikTok account. It might work on your Facebook account. And that's why it's really important to build that brand. Also, probably one of the biggest way that I said focus in out of YouTube to help benefit YouTube is this one reason. If you can bring people on to YouTube to watch your content first, you get a lot of love from YouTube. Not a lot of people understand that. But probably one of the most biggest ranking factors is you have how much traffic you bring to YouTube and how long they have actually stayed. So really developing that social reach is truly important. And it's not so much about YouTube views because they will take care of itself if you really build your brand across the internet. Number 12, analyze and adjust. Now for me, this is very important. And the most significant thing I have noticed about other YouTubers is that they don't pay much attention about their analytics. You need to know why this post is doing well and the others are not, why this video has more views and the others are not. You need to understand why this video is doing better than the other one. You need to know where the audience retention is. We have all these tools to make us better creators and really strengthen our brand, but some of us don't even use it. I was talking to a fellow YouTuber a week ago, and actually he shared to me that one of the most viewed content in his channel was actually the one was within his niche. And he has analyzed, we have analyzed that this is how we should adjust. We will create more contents about this, and the story will be around this niche. And he did it, and things started to improve and started to gain more viewers and subscribers. And that's what it means by analyzing and adjust. Now keep in mind that adjustment needs to coincide with your passion. It needs to coincide with your mission. It needs to coincide with your brand. And the last one is never give up. I have talked to a lot of successful creators in YouTube in building their brands, and I've asked them a lot of questions. And one of the questions is this: was there a point that you were actually ready to give up? And most of their answers were yes, although they're grateful that they didn't, because they were very determined to do it and to succeed. My take here is, if you are really passionate about and you've gone through these 13 things that we have shared to you just right now, and you really have an understanding about, building a brand, and really about this adjusting and analyzing and growing your audience, then don't give up. Give it your all. If you need to stay for a couple of extra hours, just leave price, so take a little bit more time. Educate yourself, understand what you're actually doing, and that's how you become successful in YouTube. So these are actually some of the most valuable information I can actually share to all of you. And I hope you've learned something. And if you've learned something, or you want to talk about anything else, please feel free to comment it down below. And let me tell you what I'm actually doing. I'm actually putting a lot of information about how to strengthen your brand or develop your brand and have it spread across the world. That will really develop an audience, and the hub of that will be on YouTube. So all guys, mga palangga, please come on over. Please subscribe to my channel, Mandy and More. Also visit my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts and get a little sneak peek on what we're actually going over a lot more in depth. So see you again mga palangga. Have a productive and helpful day. God bless you everyone. See you again.